What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Straight Edge Knives. Hey, coming at you today with another review, and today we are going over the Condor Tool and Knife Matatoa. All right, man, this thing is pretty awesome. I was able to play around with this a little bit. I did a little 30-hit challenge, real short, if you will, on it. You can probably find that and check it out. And you know what? We're going to probably do 30 hits again today with this bad boy. This thing is pretty slick. I really like it. It was one of those things where when I first got a hold of it, I was like, wasn't 100% sure. But man, once I started, like not fondling it, but like handling it and just really checking it out, like this thing is really cool. It's essentially like a little mini machete, if you will. But check this out. Check out this. Let's get into this. Let's check out this sheath first. So unfortunately, I didn't have the box or anything like that when I got this. This was kind of given to me by Joe Flowers, knife designer extraordinaire. He goes, hey man, you got to check this thing out here. Walter Mathews designed it, and you know what? Check it out, man. Tell me, listen to what you think. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'll look at it, and I really like it. This is really a cool blade. But I mean, check out this beautiful sheath right here. I mean, it's got this nice brown leather sheath. You got dual snaps here to hold it in place. Comes around the back, stitched up really nice. One thing I will point out real quick on this is this belt loop is small. My belt won't fit through it, and this is actually the prototype sheath. So the final product, from what I'm told, that this is going to be fixed. This is going to have a nice big, belt loop that'll fit just about any size belt. So don't worry about that. That on the production model, it's going to be taken care of. But for everything else on the sheath, should be the way you see it, from what I understand. But the knife fits in there very nicely. It's got kind of an open back design, very well made, holds the knife great. I mean, it's just really pretty. It's got that nice, cool, old school look about it, and that's what I really love about Condor Tool and Knife, is their blades are just really cool. They have cool designs. They have a rustic look. They look like they've came from the time period that a lot of them are based off of. So you get an old school feel, an old school look with new school materials, if you will. Excuse me. And this is no different, man. Look at this, really, really cool design. Let's go over the specs on this real quick, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a not necessarily a story on it, but kind of some of the not design features, but the design elements to it. This is the Matatoa. Was designed by Walter A. Mathews. You got a 7.10 inch blade. You got 11.82 inches overall with a thickness of 0.12. Its weight is 9.8 ounces. It doesn't give me the weight with the sheath, but the sheath's not very light, so I'd say maybe 12 ounces the most with the sheath. It's 1095 high carbon steel with a convex grind. It's got walnut handle with looks like white and G10 kind of liners. A walnut handle, a leather sheath, and essentially, Walter Mathews, the designer, actually reached out to me, and this is loosely based off of a machete that they found, or type tool that they would have found in Rapa Nui, I think it was, Easter Island, essentially. And all these little symbols that come down here into the handle is actually, I guess, kind of like their language. It's long forgotten, so nobody even knows what this really means. It's been lost in translation over the years, but they do know it's rango rango is what they call it, this writing, I guess. And so I thought, hey, that's pretty damn cool. I mean, it's just really cool look. I mean, if you look at it, you can kind of figure out some of this stuff. Like, I mean, up here you got, looks like maybe a fish hook. There's a fish there. That might have been like a lizard, a hammerhead shark. I don't know, maybe they had a bug-eyed dude right there. That looks like a bird, another kind of fish shark. Maybe this was somebody who had a scythe-like tool that was, harvesting. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, for all we know, this could be the recipe for the greatest soup ever made. We don't know. But it's just really cool. It gives a really cool look, and I like it. But besides that, though, I mean, let's check out this handle. I mean, you can see I got XL hands, and my hand fits just right in here. I can even choke back on it. It's got a nice little kind of bulbous area on the back that if I choke back for some chop and swings, I can do that. you know, come back and do light chopping. But you know, if I grab it like this, I mean, it fits my hand perfect. If you're looking at it and you're like, well man, your hand's gonna slide up on that blade. Well, if you look, what they did was they kept it flat up onto the blade area, even to here. So even right here, it's not really sharp, and it doesn't get sharp until you get to right about there. So even if your hand did come up on here, cutting it close, but you're gonna be okay. And I did 30 hits on a 4x4 with this, and I did not come even close to getting my finger up on there, so I don't think it's a problem. But this would be considered a light duty machete type hand tool. But man, this thing just feels really cool, really light. I think this would be a great all-around kind of camp knife, or you know, something like that. And actually, one of the things that I typically don't do on my videos is do food prep stuff. But you know what, today I said, you know what, we're gonna do some food prep. And so you know what, let's take it into the house to Jason in the house, and we'll let him show us some little food prep stuff. Hey, Jason in the house, take it away, brother. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jason in the kitchen. Jason outside just sent it to me so you guys can see the Matatoa at work in the kitchen. So what we have here, everybody, is a Santa Maria style tri-tip. Big chunk of meat right here, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this bad boy up into little slices right here for you guys. Show you guys the Matatoa at work in the kitchen. So you could definitely use this as a food prep knife if you needed to. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm kind of just going to trim up this delicious tri-tip that we cut. Although my cutting board is being a little difficult with me right now. You can come in here, make some beautiful, nice slices of tri-tip right there. Look at that. Nice medium. If you're not a meat eater, which is perfectly fine, you could also trim, you know, cut up your food, like your zucchini, your squash, things like that. So if you're out camping, or let's say you're out hunting and you got your, you know, your elk, your deer, boar, whatever it is, I think you could definitely get in there and do some food prep processing with this blade as well. So, I mean, as you can see, it's easily making, you know, nice work of the tri-tip here. So, just want to kind of show you guys some of the food prep type stuff that you could, you know, or I mean, it's not a ton of food prepping type stuff, but definitely wanted to show you some food prepping with this blade. It's really light. I mean, it makes a good carver. It's thin enough. It's got that convex edge, so it's definitely something to think about if you're, you know, want to have this as a camp knife, have it in your bug out bag possibly, or keep it in the backseat of your truck or in your camping gear. I mean, you're going to be able to come in and definitely cut up your steaks and burgers and stuff like that. So there it is, guys. So hey, wanted to show you that real quick. So we're going to send this back out to Jason outside so we can get to doing all the chopping and the feather sticking and stuff. Stay safe, stay sharp. Jason, take it away, brother. Hey, welcome back to me, Jason, here outside. Hey, Jason in the house. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Did a good job slicing up that tri-tip, and I'll tell you what, it was delicious. If you guys don't know what a tri-tip is, it's a California type thing. It's not found too often outside of California, but anyway, if you figure out and you know how to cook it right, oh, it's really good, really good. Anyway, let's get off the tri-tip there, right? Let's get back to this blade. So there it is, guys. I mean, as you can see, you could do some food prep in the house with it, trimming up that tri-tip. Awesome. But like I said, it's got just a really good feel, balance, quick. You know, if you had to come in here and do some crazy cool stuff, you could. It's got a real nice balance with this nice big like sweep right here. I mean, this is going to be like your chopping edge, like, you know, that's where your power is going to be. But let's get into it, guys. Let's we want to see it in action, right? So here we go. We got the old catalog here that I like to stab with it. This, I wouldn't say this is going to be, well, I mean, it's going to stab, right? But you know, come over here, put your thumb over the top. Like I see, you got that nice generous area right there. You can come in, do a stab into the phone book. Didn't quite go all the way through. Let's see, we got about, so we got right, the tip is right here. So we got about 3/4 of the way through on stab. That's not bad. I mean, this is, like I said, this kind of, you obviously you got the tip here and it sweeps out really quickly, but let's do it again. it like almost just, it almost went, like it did go through for a quick like nanosecond. It's just not right there quite. Okay, so I can feel the tip right here. So look at it. I mean, it pretty much did go almost all the way through. There's a few little sheets here didn't go through, but pretty damn good for a, you know, not a super, I mean, it's not super, it's not like a stabby point, if you will. I don't know how you would say that, but let's get a little chop here and make a little mess, right? Ooh, look at that. Made a little mess. Making it snow. Pretty cool. You get, that's what's cool, is like you choke back on this, get that little whip chop, make a mess on my, get yelled at later for that. So I mean, it'll obviously cut and, or do some cutting, like chop cutting there. Let's do some cardboard here. Nice, cutting through that, no problem. Convex edge, cutting through that cardboard. So if you're out, you have to cut some cardboard, you can do that. But I really do see this as more of a outdoorsy, slightly bushcrafty type blade. But you know, it's going to be interesting when we get the feather sticking where you're going to have to go, because like I said, you have this flat spot right here. But let's, excuse me, I drank coffee earlier and now seem to be burping it up. My apologies. Let's do the gene cut test, right? So you got to come in here, stab through. Yep, stabbed it. Bam, cut right through it, no problem. Slicing through, no problem. Nice gene cut, nope. Nice clean cuts, yep. So if you had to cut some gene material off, you know, out in the woods, had an emergency, you could do that. We got the old pool hose here, you know, like I always like cutting this stuff. I like to simulate it as radiator hose or something to that effect, water hose. I mean, it's not super thick plastic, but you know, come in here, cut a piece off, no problem. You had to come in here and chop a piece off. It went flying way over there, but you can chop a piece off. So that's pretty easy, no problem. What else we got here? Oh, we got the, sometimes we go out of order here with this, and that's fine. I don't think you guys mind. So this is air compressor hose. All right, this is an old cheap air compressor hose from a Harbor Freight, you know, branded air compressor. I couldn't think what it was. Anyway, this is a what, 3/8 thick. This has got a 3,000 psi rating, so I mean that's pretty durable, pretty tough stuff, unless you leave it out in the cold for a really long time, and then when you flex it, it cracks. But that's why I'm chopping this hose up. But anyway, let's chop a piece of this off, and then we'll got it. Man, now my piece is way over there, so let's do another one. Let's hold on to the hose this time. This one don't go flying off, right? Bam. There we go. So you got to cut a piece of hose off or something like that, you can. If you had to come in here and like do a knife, try to be a little bit more precise. Bam, using that belly, I was able to cut in there. It was a little, having to put that pressure down. Let's try it this way. Let's put a little, do like a little press cut, if you will. There it goes. Bam, cut it off, no problem. If you had to come down here and for whatever reason break this in half, you could come in, bam, cut it in half, no problem. So obviously we can cut through some hose very easily, chop through it, cut through it if you needed to. Extension cord, you know, you had to, I like doing this because it has the 3 different strands of copper wire in here that are all sheathed protectively with a plastic, and then you have your outer shell, if you will. If you had to come in here and chop a little piece of this off, I could sit here all day and just chop chunks of this away, no problem. Let's pull this over. Let's say you had to be a little bit more precise though. You wanted to slice it, so let's see here. Oh yeah, man, I got it right here. I'm just kind of pulling through, like flex my chest. Bam! What's up? Bam! Sorry, I don't work out nearly enough to have a chest to do that. But look at, I was able to easily cut through that, slice through it with this convex edge, no problem. It was a nice clean cut. You can see that there. So, you know, that's pretty good. You know, come in and bam, just kind of flex some chest, all right? I don't know why I do that. Sometimes I go off on tangents, guys. You know how I am. But you can easily do that. So here we go. Let's get to the rope, right? So we got some nylon, yellow nylon braided rope. You know, stuff is very strong, and it's also very rough on a knife edge because of the material. It's like a plasticky, nah, I don't want to say plasticky, but I'm not even sure what you would call that. But anyway, it's difficult to cut. There's, believe it or not, you know, thousands of strands, like smaller strands, all woven together in there. So again, let's try this, right? Kind of come in here, do your little chest flex. Pow. That's gonna be the new one right there. That's a new way to cut, guys. Oh, chest flex. Bam. I'm stupid. Anyway, look at it. Cut through that nice and clean. I mean, no problem at all. If you had to come in here and, as you can see, it's like 3 different strands coming apart there, but if you had to come in here and be a little bit more precise, you could do a little sawing motion, you know, break it down. I don't know if you'd want to do that, but you can easily cut that up. You know, these come apart, so obviously you can see that. So say you had 3 kind of looser strands, come in here, let's do it. Chest flex, baby. Bam, there it is. So that rope's not a problem. This rope is a lot thicker, and it's a lot more fibrous, and it's a lot rougher on a knife edge. It's kind of like cutting cardboard. Like, it's like sand, almost acts like sandpaper, if you will. Here's one I kind of cut off, but this is sloppy. I don't like that. So let's do a bam. Look at that, nice clean cut right through there. Now I got all these little strands right here. But keep this stuff, right? If you get a rope like this and you got to cut it off, I'll tell you why. And I've actually done this, and actually maybe I'll do a little video doing it. But if you take this stuff, you can break it apart, really start shredding it up, and it makes a good fire tender, like a fire starter if you needed to, like for an emergency. It makes it really, if it's dry, it's really fibrous, really light, thin. You can see that. So maybe I'll actually take that and we'll do that. We'll get the thing. I'm gonna do a reel on doing that, right? But look, easily cut that rope, no problem. I might have to buy some more of this. I'm starting to run out. But let's try the flex chest. I haven't tried that with this. So the chest flex cutting method, patent pendant, you know. Oh, that worked. I didn't. I knew it would, but look at that. Cut that right off, man. That's pretty good. Sweet, man. This thing's a little cutter, man. It's a little chopper cutter. This thing is definitely going to be a cool blade to have around the camp, you know. So there we go. We got rope, we got hoses, plastic and stuff. But let's get to the wood, right? That's what we want to see. We want to see it. Like, what's this thing going to do on a piece of wood? So now bear with me here, guys. I'm not the best feather sticker. I was actually making feather sticks or whatever. I was watching Joe Flowers do this the other night. We were messing around, you know, watching him get stuff ready for trying to build a Airbnb fire. It was kind of funny. But he was taking the blade, and I'm gonna grab right up here on the back here, and I'm gonna see if I can do some nice shavings off of this. Yeah, I mean, they're coming off nice slivers. What's kind of cool about this is, you know, a lot of times when I do this, they want it flying everywhere. If I'm like going, you know, and then you got to try to find them all. This is kind of keeping them all right here on my stump. The stick isn't cooperating with me too well, though. I'm trying to find a place for it to hold here and not stab me in my chest. But coming down here, I know I'm on the flat side, which probably isn't ideal. You'd probably want to go more on a corner, but I mean, it's still taking off some nice strips. Look at that, nice. If I needed to hurry up a little bit, I'm in a hurry, about to freeze my butt off. It can come in here and go a little faster. That way actually works pretty good too. You kind of start in, almost do like a slicing motion. Look at that. Watching Joe Flowers, a professional, do this. Whew. You know, Walter Mathews, I know you're probably watching this, and I'd like to see you do it too, because I like to learn from you guys. You guys are the pros, you know. So I'm telling you, Walter, I think you did a good job with this bad boy, though. This thing is nice. I really like this for its little camp applications. And so look at nice little feather curls for making a fire. You know what, I'm gonna set these off to the side, because I'm gonna do a little reel. I'm gonna start a little tiny fire, you know. So we're gonna save those, put those down over there. So if you had to come in and make a feather stick, for sure you can. If you had let me get my other stick here. So this one my dog chewed up, but if you had to, you know, use this piece and you needed to be a little bit more, you can easily come in here. Got your thumb on the back, nice thumb area here. No jimping, but I don't think you need it on this. So I could come in here and easily come in, scoop this out. If I had to come down a little closer, I can. Again, you just got to be aware that right here it's not sharp, it's flat right here to help protect your finger. I'm assuming that's what we're, but look at that. Come in, definitely make a nice little feather stick. That's actually sharp enough down here on this flat point that I think you could strike a fire rod off that. I gotta remember to bring my fire rod out here. But anyway, so check that out, so you can do that. Now, let's say you needed to make a tent spike, a tent stake or something like that. This is all mangled, that ain't gonna go on the ground, right? So you can come in here, choke back a little bit, do some light chopping, get you down to your, you know, maybe your 10 point. And then if you pretty much got there, you can come in here, easily slice off your pieces, make your more acute tent stake point, or vampire badger spear, you know. Got the chupacabra coming at you, and you're like, oh man, I gotta make something to protect myself. Come down and make a nice little spear, and you're like, well, I don't need the spear anymore, I just need a flat stick. You know, you come here, bam, look at that, halfway through. Need to make sure that's kind of a clean cut. Keep it there, kind of bam, right through the stick. Cut that spear off so you can start over. Nice clean cut. But you know what I haven't done? I haven't checked my edge here in a minute. Let's check it. Still 1095 usable edge right here. So no problem at all there. So there, you could do feather sticks if you wanted to. But let's say, oh, a little out of order here, but here's a piece of leather belt. Let's say you had to cut a leather belt off and do something with it. Come in here, cut pieces of the belt off, no problem. This was kind of cut down the middle, but yeah, you cut some leather off there, no problem. If you needed to. If you had to do some, shave it off. Oh, this belt's kind of rotten. It's been sitting out here in the weather. But you can come in here, take some slivers off. Something, well, got this little piece of wood here. Let's baton through this. Now this stuff is kind of funny. I've ran into some problems with this in the past, where when I start to split it, it seems to suck itself in around the blade, and the blade sometimes gets stuck. But it's also a pretty good indication of how well of a beating the knife can take too. And you got enough here that if you got to baton through something, you got enough mass here on the end that you can easily get your stick on there and whack through it, right? So bam, no problem. Where'd that piece go? Oh well. See, baton through here, no problem. This isn't flat enough for me to be able to kind of get a chop on it, but let's go through this side. So you had to break this down a little bit farther, to help, like I said, get your fire going. No problem, and that just went through it easily. This is a little bit thinner stock, so let's check, see. Still straight, I mean, no problem at all. Let's say, what else? Oh, got this piece of bamboo here. Now this stuff is bamboo. It's kind of cracked, broken up a little bit, but this stuff is super hard. It's rough on an edge. Let's do some choke back on this. Let's do some chopping on it just to see how the edge holds up. Some advice I got was, one of the things I tend to do sometimes, I come straight down. I was told that you should always try to come in at an angle, because when you come straight down it can damage your edge. I didn't know that, so thank you for that advice, Walter Mathews. But let's go. Let's see. Let's come in, do some hits, and see what kind of chopping we can do on this bamboo. Not bad. Let's get that. Can't leave that piece hanging there, right? Chopped right through it. Let's check our edge. Got some, whenever I chop in, I go into my stump, leaves some residue. That's still sharp, guys. There's no chips. No chips, no rolls. I don't even see any rolls. Looks good. I mean, this edge is holding up great. And that's the nice thing about convex edges, man. They actually hold up pretty damn well. We got anything else here that we can chop through? Well, let's do this. So, I got the old fire hose here. Now I need a piece of this here in a little bit for something else. This typically is super difficult to cut through. It's fire hose. It's technically 6 layers if you go all the way through it. You got a outer canvas sleeve, an inner canvas sleeve, and there's rubber glued to the inner canvas sleeve. So by the time you get through all layers, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? This stuff is very, very cut abrasion resistant because it's an actual fire hose for fighting fires. It's got to go through car wreckage, all that type of stuff. So let's see if we can't cut through this. Okay, I'm pretty damn impressed right now. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, guys, look at that. That's where I cut through right now. That's a super clean cut. I used a knife that was thinner, designed more for cutting, to cut the other piece off, and look at how ragged and uneven that is because of how much I had to work it. This convex edge that's on here cut through that easily. That I'm a little shocked. Like, that's pretty damn good. Like, this edge that's really, really good. I've cut this thing a bunch of different times with a bunch of different knives, some way sharper with thinner edge profiles, and not cut that clean through there. So this convex edge that's on here, guys, and that's after kind of already cutting some of this stuff. I thought I was going to have to work that a lot more. That was probably one of the easier times I've had cutting through this hose. So that's pretty impressive. Walter, Condor, good job, guys. Let's do just a little quick cut chop here on the edge here. See how far we can just do like a little whip chop through there. So that little whip chop didn't do much. It barely kind of cut it right here. But you know what? So that leads me to believe, well, this is a fluke. Let's cut this piece off and let's see. I don't think it was a fluke. I don't think it was, but see, that's interesting. Now I'm having a little bit of a harder time, but maybe it was because of the amount of rigidity that the hose had in it. Like, I'm cutting down here on the end and it's all kind of loosey, but I'm still cutting through it. See, I'm always learning something new, right? So it's cutting through there, no problem. But I don't think it's cutting through quite as clean because it's a lot, there's a lot more give in the hose because it didn't have like the rest of it backing it up. So let's try it this way. You know what? Let's go ham bone on this. Let's double her up. Let's see what we can do. Guys, now remember, this stuff is like sandpaper, so it's not the best. not the best material for your edge of your knife. Cutting through, yep. It's kind of weird. It's like I'm cutting through one half of it quicker than the other half. Yeah, there you go. Here we go. Cool. So, still cutting through. So, again, that leads me to believe that the way this material is, first cutting through this, the edge was super sharp, right? Cut through it easily. But in the process of doing that, this hose, with it being dirty, the material that it's made out of being cut resistant, you know what? I gotta figure this hose out because this still feels really sharp. So I'm like, why did I cut through this super easy the first time and then I had a little bit harder time the second and third time? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like dumbfounded, if you will. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can let me know how that works. Maybe cutting through it took just enough off the edge to get that razor sharpness that gave you that first initial super clean cut, but it still cut through the hose. So I'm still super impressed. Like I said, I've had brand new knives out of the box. That's the first cut I did. This one, I already done some chopping with it and did some cutting, and that's pretty impressive. So anyway, back to, we did some light batoning with it. I wouldn't say this is definitely I wouldn't go ham bone and you know, baton through a log necessarily like this thick. As you can see, that's a big old chunky boy. You know, if you came right down here in the middle, you're not going to have a whole lot of area to hit with. But I kind of wonder if you came in here, right here on the edge, and started working it down, I wonder how it would do. This is seasoned almond wood, guys. I'm gonna stand up for this. Bam. So that was pretty good. You can see here, took that chunk off. I wasn't on the, didn't go too far into the middle. Where'd that other piece go? Oh, I didn't go too far into the middle because, like I said, you would run out of room to hit. But we're definitely putting some pressure on that edge. That's definitely a rough, hard wood. And yeah, actually, kind of what happened was when we got to right here, there's a knot right here. So it kind of just finally went poop, deflected off. So let's go right here. Let's do this one more time. Again, you don't necessarily want to make this a batoning knife, but we're going to test it out, make sure it can do it if you absolutely had to, right? There we go. So you can definitely get in there. Might have went and got this stuck. That's always a good time. Now, what you're going to see here is, one, I got my knife stuck in there, but as I was coming through there, as I was hammering down through this spot, this blade was actually bending. It was flexing, right? Let's see if it stayed true. It did. It stayed true. I don't know if you can see that. Looking down it, I don't know if it's going to be it's still straight, guys. I was looking at it, I was hammering it, I could see there was a flex in here. I can even flex it a little bit like this myself, and it popped right back to true. So this thing's a tough little guy for its size. I probably could have kept going. I ran into a knot right there. That was, and there's a knot right here as well. So that was part of the problem, why I kind of got stuck. But it's nice and straight. With that little bit of flex that was in there, the handle's still on perfect. It didn't like pop the handle scales off at all. Still glued up, pinned right, nothing wrong there. Still got an edge. So got an edge, guys. We're gonna do some chopping, and you know what we're gonna do, you know, we're gonna just chop on this for a little bit right down here, let you guys see this at work, and let's get to it. So this feels pretty good in my hand chopping. Every once in a while, because I'm kind of coming down at this at an angle, it will turn in my hand just a little bit, but I'm also choked back on it, so I don't have like the tightest of grips on there. But I mean, it's not an issue. I could quickly readjust and keep going, you know. Shit. Got this part right here. I mean, you guys can see those chunks flying off of there. No problem. So I mean, this thing, it'll chop, it'll cut hose, it'll cut rope, you know. Let's come back to this rope here real quick. Did some chopping, did some other harder stuff on it, right? Come in here, get tight. There we go. Still cutting rope, so still got an edge. Still do a little whip chop, not a problem. Still sharp. If you want this hair popping sharp, take it to a strop. I don't think you'll have any issue. So guys, this thing is going to be a great little camp knife. It's lightweight. You can carry this all day. Put it in your pack. It's going to, you know, carry it around. Use it at camp. Use it while you're hiking. If you're out hunting and you got your deer or woolly mammoth or whatever it is, you know, you'd be able to come in there and use this to carve out bigger chunks. You know, after you're done field dressing your game, you throw a leg on the campfire. You get, obviously with the tri-tip, you see, you come in there, you slice it up, dole everybody else out a nice woolly mammoth steak, if you will. Chop up your vegetables with it. Use it to help do a fire prep, cut and roll. I mean, this thing, it's just a good all-around little mini machete, if you will. I don't know, I would classify this as not necessarily a mini machete style, but I would classify this more as a good all-around camp knife, like a recurve camp knife almost. It's got enough thickness, it's got enough balance. It's just, like I said, if you had to come in there and fight off the vampiric honey badger, come in there and do some cool stuff like that. This is a cool blade. I like it, guys. And Walter Mathews, man, you did a great job designing this. And I'm sorry with my limited skills if I didn't do it justice, but I would highly recommend this knife. I think it's actually a really damn cool blade, and I like it a lot. So there it is, guys. The Condor Knives Matatoa. Really cool blade, you know. There it is. It's just beautiful. I don't know what else to say. You know what? We got more knife reviews to do, but I'm keeping this is grade A. I like it. Thank you, everybody. I greatly appreciate you watching, sticking with me this far. Hope you enjoy my stupid jokes. I have a good time doing this. I really love showing off knives to those of you who watch. And you know, if this is your first time on the channel, please, and you hear this still, please hit that subscribe button, hit like, leave a comment, tell me what you think of the blade, or tell me what you think I could maybe do better. I'm open to constructive criticism. I'm not afraid of it, you know, because I know I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. So please hit that like, subscribe button, share it with your friends if you can, help the channel grow. I'd greatly appreciate it. Make sure you go check out Condor Tool and Knife. This is going to be available here really soon. I don't know what the MSRP on it's going to be, but I would buy one for sure, because it's that cool of a blade. I like it. So thank you again, everybody. Stay safe, stay sharp. We'll see you at the next review. Bye. I was hoping that would shut my camera off, but it didn't. So now I got to get up. Stay safe, stay sharp.